Hi, I'm Abdullah Ansari and I'm sub-editor of Mechanica. And today we'll be interviewing Mr. Cooper, the CEO of EvR Motors. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So, sir, can you give me a brief overview of the company and its main objective?
EvR is an Israeli company, technology company. We've developed an improved architecture for electric motors. It lets us make motors that are lighter, cheaper, smaller, higher performance than normal motors. And we do this by a very special shape of the coil, the complex three-dimensional trapezoidal shape of the coil, different teeth, slightly different materials, and none of them expensive. So we've got a smaller motor, with very high power, less material, reduces cost, simple assembly, reduces cost, reduces CapEx. So altogether, it fits the requirements of the Indian market, but also of global markets for high performance, low weight, low cost.
It's just like a plain car for everything right now.
It's what the customers want, and motors have looked the same for generations, and we made it look a bit different.
It's like ticking the box for everything.
Exactly.
So coming to the next question, like what challenges do you face in setting up the plant, and how did you focus on like the more thing, like main thing you focus on? Sorry.
So first of all, the plant that we inaugurated today, together with our fully owned subsidiary EvR India, is built to manufacture the coils that will go into these motors. Our business model is to work with partners who manufacture the motors and sell the motors. We've got partnerships now with Apino, with RSV, with EKA, that will be manufacturing these motors. The coils are very special and require unique knowledge. Once they're assembled, once they're manufactured, it's very easy to assemble the motor. It simplifies the motor assembly process. So for the tier one, it's fantastic. And we supply the coils. And the factory that we inaugurated today will be manufacturing the coils for our customers in India, some of which those motors will be sold abroad, and we'll also be manufacturing coils here for other customers who will be assembling motors in other countries. So this is really going to be a made in India, for India, and the world product. We're very, very proud of it. We're the first Israeli automotive company to open manufacturing capabilities in India. The ambassador was here to honor us and inaugurate the factory, and we're looking forward to growing rapidly in the market.
Wish you best for that. Coming to the next question, like what development in electric motor technology have resulted in lower manufacturing cost?
So it's basically a different shape of the coils and of the cores of the motor. And this different shape lets us make them smaller, lets us dissipate more heat, lets us get more magnetic flux. All together, just by thinking outside of the box and doing it differently, we've managed to make the motor better, but keep the same basic philosophies of radial flux motors. We've got 13 patents granted and quite a few more in the works on multiple different aspects of this, because it's really a system approach to designing a motor differently.
Next question, like what are the most recent improvement like EvR Motors in electric motor design that supports sustainability and green mobility?
So there's a lot of activity going on in electric motors, of course. Much of it and much of the new innovation is aimed at the very high end of the segment. Let's get even more power, very high power, and it comes usually with higher cost. We've looked at a different market segment. We're looking at the reasonable price and reasonable performance. Two-wheelers and three-wheelers and commercial vehicles and passenger cars. We've got motors for the whole range. Not for the super high-end one. There are tens of companies doing super high-end motors. No. Let's reduce the price. The main problem with electric vehicles now is charging. You can't do anything to solve that. But price. They're too expensive. So if we bring down the motor price, we bring down the motor weight, and the whole vehicle weight comes down, battery can go down, everything goes down. This is where our contribution is. And we've done that by improving the topology.
So like in a crux, you're like saying it's like more accessible to everyone.
It will make the vehicles more accessible to everyone. It will make it easier for the OEMs to price the cars in a way that they are accessible. And that is one of the keys to growing the market.
Yeah, true. That's true. Coming to the last question, like, can you provide insight into the EvR Motors approach in managing risk and uncertainties as it look towards the future?
Yes, it's a good question. We have a twofold approach. One is in our team. We have a very smart, very highly educated, very talented team that are very flexible. We've got 5 PhDs on board, and we come across problems, they figure it out. The second thing is the business model. The business model grants our technology access to huge markets because we're not a manufacturer of motors. If we're manufacturing motors, we need a lot of money to set up CapEx. We have to do it in different places, and we have to start competing with the big guys. It's not a good place to be for a small company. So we've chosen a totally different model. And our model is licensing. We do what we are good at. We're fantastic at technology. We're not very good, don't tell anyone, don't tell my wife. We're not very good at manufacturing. We're not very good at supply chain. But there are tier ones and OEMs who are professionals at that, and they don't have enough technology in electric motors. Even if they have an electric motor department, they're designing motors the old way. So we say to them, take our motors, you build them, we license to you, we'll supply the coils, which are a difficult part to make, we'll help you with the supply chain, we'll help you with setting up the manufacturing line. The manufacturing line is simpler than a normal motor because you don't need to wind the coils on the motor, so the whole manufacturing line is much lower, so it's got lower capex. And the motors are super flexible. So the same motor with slightly different coils, slightly different length, maybe different cooling modes, but in the end, the core is the same motor. You go to multiple different customers. You go to commercial vehicles, you go to passenger cars, you go to boats, you go to industrial vehicles, you can go to all sorts of different things. You go to them in different places in the world. So instead of fighting the tier ones and the OEMs, I'm helping the tier ones and OEMs get to the market and let them fight each other with a better product. So we think this business model gives us a much lower risk because we're multi-market, multinational, multi-customer type. There's two-wheelers in India and industrial vehicles in Europe. And at the same time, grow into the more challenging markets, like commercial vehicles in India, or the even more challenging ones, like electric passenger cars in India, or the even more challenging ones, which is the same type of cars in Europe and in America. And it lets us grow into these markets wherever we find the openings, because we fit all of them. So this is our main strategy. It's do what we're good at, which is technology, leave the big money and the big risks to the customers, and get huge access to almost all the global electrification market.
Thank you. That was very insightful, and I hope better for the future for EvR Motors. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you for interviewing me. It's been a pleasure having you here today, and it was a tremendous honor to inaugurate our plant here today in Manesar. The work with the Indian partners is fantastic, both the suppliers, especially the customers. Fantastic engineering, great willingness to run forward, a get it done attitude, and good, trustworthy partners. It's not an easy thing to find. So we're super happy with working in India, and we're thrilled at inaugurating the plant and look forward to doing good business. Thank you very much.
Thank you.